Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ben here. I am back again today doing another video. The subject of today's video is going to be casting a second season of Survivor Heroes vs. Villains, or the title of the season will probably be Heroes vs. Villains 2. This is going to be castmates who appeared on the show after the first Heroes vs. Villains, so everybody after season 20, just for reference. And I've split them up here into first all the heroes, then all the villains. So first I have Keith Nale, who I believe is one of the most likable people who's been on Survivor in the past 20 seasons, and he has played twice on season 29 and season 31, and I think people would really enjoy seeing him out there again. He's never going to be the top strategist, but he is very good at challenges, and he is a threat definitely as far as his social game because he is super, super likable. Next, I have Wu from Kaguyan season 28, and then also season 31, Second Chance. Wu is also like just a super likable person and very good at challenges, very athletic, just very overall kind and charismatic without really even trying. And so I think he would be kind of like a diamond in the rough pick for the Heroes tribe, which I don't think people would see coming, but I think he would be a really solid addition to the cast. And he kind of got a bad deal in Second Chance, like got in an unfortunate scenario. So it'd be cool to see what he could do another time around. Next, I have Ty from both Ko Wrong and Game Changers. Um, Ty is a guy who is very good at Survivor. He's very good at finding idols. He's decent at challenges. He is pretty good socially in that he makes a lot of strong bonds. He is placed third one time, or I guess technically, yeah, he placed third once and then fourth another time in his two stints on Survivor. So he would be not a surefire bet to go far, but he's very solid performer, and um, I think you can kind of bank on him being pretty successful at the game when he plays it. Next for the heroes, I have Tommy Sheehan. Um, of course, he was on Island of the Idols and did very well. One of the most dominant social players we've ever seen. Also physically fit. He didn't actually win any idols, or excuse me, didn't win any immunity necklaces or find any idols or advantages or anything, but was very successful helping his tribe during challenges in the pre-merge, and then post-merge was just basically super, super well situated socially to exceed at this game. Next, I have Rick Devens, who is a pretty iconic survivor from the past couple seasons, sort of like a modern icon in that he follows this mold of finding idols, winning immunity challenges, kind of doing the opposite of Tommy, in that he just embraces all the twists and turns of Survivor and was very successful at it and got very far in the game because of it. And I think it would just be very interesting and fun to see him out there again. Um, and he also has a very big, entertaining personality. Next for the heroes, I have Kim Spradlin from One World and Winners at War. Pretty universally, I would say a hero in that she just did a great job in both of her seasons and very likable and nice and somebody you can easily root for. Next, I have Natalie from both San Juan del Sur and Winners at War. Natalie, sort of same thing, very good in all aspects of the game, socially, strategically, at challenges. Also very likable and just fun to watch and very easy to root for that you would want back on a Heroes tribe. Christy Hoffback from HHH. Some people hate on her. I liked her on her season. She seemed like a very nice person to me. Had a favorable edit, at least, I think. And from interviews and stuff, she seems very positive and likable. So I think, some people don't like her. I do. I think she would deserve to be on the Heroes tribe. Um, so yeah. Lauren Rimmer, also from HHH, likable person, very good socially, actually very good strategically as well. I think easy to root for, and that's for me a big determinant of what makes for a hero is somebody that you can easily root for, and you just can kind of easily get behind and want them to do well on the season. I think she's definitely one of those people. which also goes for Sydney from Ko Rong. A very good story in that she was trying to win the money to help her mom who was having health issues. Seems like a very genuine person. Very good at challenges. Strategically, she's all right, not phenomenal, but challenge beast and seems like a really genuine person. So I would like to see her come back for a season such as this. Now we're transitioning into the villains, where first off, also from Korong, we have Scott Pollard, former NBA player. Was known to be basically a pretty big bully on his season and tried to force people to like do what he wanted as far as voting and stuff like that. It ultimately backfired on him, but he would be a very good addition to this tribe in that he was just uh, pretty mean to a lot of people and quite a bully on his season. Not a terrible person, just the edit really made him into a villain. Next, I have Chris Noble from Ghost Island, who is probably the funniest and most comedic relief of any of these villains. Um, he's sort of just an imbecile from what they edited him to be on Ghost Island. He may not actually be that in real life, but they just made him look like an utter fool on that season. Of course, he's on the Villains tribe from his infamous rivalry with Dominic, and he came off badly in that, and so I have him on the Villains tribe here. From Worlds Apart, I have Rodney, who honestly he doesn't seem like that bad of a guy, but he seemed to sort of have these tendencies to bully maybe a little bit like Scott in that like if you didn't agree with him, he'd kind of bite back at you. Um, Very entertaining personality though, and would love to see him back on another season. Jay from Millennials versus Gen X. I actually like Jay a lot on his season, and I later found out that a lot of people view him as a villain for what he did to Michaela and for a few of the votes he was trying to set up. So actually, I'd say one of the more charismatic people to be on the villain tribe, but I think that he would be a solid addition to it. And because he has some iconic moments of being stone cold and cruel as far as the vote outs, he would be a good addition to this tribe. Next, I have Marty, who I think isn't actually a villain necessarily either, but a lot of people sort of see him as one for how he treated Jane on his particular season. They were like these utter rivals, and it was hilarious because they just each hated one another for no real reason whatsoever. But it was just pure entertainment and really fun. And in a season that a lot of people rip on all the time, I think that is one of the better parts of it is that Marty and Jane were hilarious and Marty came off as a villain basically for disliking an old woman, which um, is funny in its own right. Next for the villains, I have Natalie Cole, who um, I don't know if she's a bad person in real life, but on the show they made her seem like a very negative, mean person, and of course that could just be editing. But they made her seem like very whiny, very rude, very bossy. Um, and of course, as I'm saying, that could just be the editing. But I'd like to just see her return for another season, whatever tribe she's on, I don't care. But I'd just like to see her back, and um, yeah, she's just pure entertainment gold. Next, we have Cass, who's obviously played on Cagayan and Second Chance. Um, Cass, I think you kind of have to have her. She's kind of one of the icons as far as villains for post season 20 Survivor. On both of her seasons, she came off very much as a villain. She gave herself the nickname Chaos Cass, and she liked to stir shit up. So yeah, I think um, definitely has to be on the villains tribe. Next, Angelina from David and Goliath. I think she actually probably isn't like Natalie, like not a bad person whatsoever, but they just edited her to look like kind of a mean person maybe, or like a negative person, or like I guess just a villain's edit, you'd say. And so for that reason, I have her on the villains tribe. The villains the villains weren't super easy to populate for me, especially for the women. Besides Cass, I wasn't able to come up with a ton, in my opinion. and Abby. Of course, Abby was another easy person to pick as a villain. Um, both of her seasons, she came off very negatively in her edit, and the show seemed to really point to her as a negative force socially. She actually got very far in both of her seasons, but was painted in a very negative light in both of them as well. So I think she's kind of a must-have for a heroes and villains season. And lastly, Debbie, who I don't really think is a bad person whatsoever. Again, the edit kind of just made her seem like really annoying, and they made it seem like everybody hated her. So that's why I have her on the villains tribe. But I think she's probably just a nice, quirky woman. But just because they edited her very negatively, I would almost say in both of her seasons, I have her here as a villain. And that wraps it up, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want to check out any other Survivor videos, check out the channel, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.